What's good, y'all? Michael here today with another video. I know this is very late, but just bear with me, as this is the Bears 2021 schedule for the season. So our first matchup will be against the Rams in LA, Sunday night football game against Matthew Stafford, our old divisional rival quarterback that used to play for the Lions, now is on the Rams. Now, the Rams, they did have a good offseason, trading away Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford, and their defense has a lot of talent. They did lose, their defensive coordinator, which could be a very impact depending who's their coordinator or not. So it will not matter who is at quarterback for the Bears this Sunday night. Rather, it's Andy Dalton, rather not it's Justin Fields, because looking at it from perspective, Stafford will always give the game to the Bears, as he has done consistently in the past before. And I'm sure many of you in the comments are going to be saying, he has played for the Detroit Lions. How can he, not succeed? You could be wrong about that. Just because, you play for a bad team doesn't mean you get a strike. So, I could see the Bears winning and Matthew Stafford choking away the game. It will take Matthew Stafford a while to get familiar with this Rams offense. Now, week 2, in our matchup against the Bengals did regress, not addressing their offensive line, getting Jamar Chase instead of taking Pal Saul, or whatever that guy's name is that the Detroit Lions picked. Their defense is going to be bad, and their offensive line is going to be terrible. They do have elite wide receiver talent, but I don't think it won't matter if no one's protecting your quarterback, Joe Burrow. And this could be Zach Taylor's last chance before he gets fired. So I see the Bears winning this one by a lot, because I don't see the Bengals keeping up with either Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. Week 3 at the Cleveland Browns. Now this could be going 2 ways. We do have a chance to beat the Browns, but the Browns, you could say that they did have magic last year, having that 11-5. Was it 11-5 or 10-6? I'm not sure, but Baker Mayfield is going to play with a chip on his shoulder, and if I'm going to be honest, this is probably a game that we lose. So, because Cleveland looks like a better team. It depends what they do with Odell Beckham, because Baker does consistently very good without Odell Beckham. Cleveland has a lot of talent. We do have a defense to stop their run game against Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But if you look at it from a perspective, they did have you could say that they had magic last year, but I could see the Browns, beating us. It could be close, but don't be surprised if Matt Nagy pulls the plug on Dome, because he did the same thing for Mitchell Trubisky when we were losing to the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm just predicting that Justin Fields comes in, because we all know how Matt Nagy is with developing quarterbacks. So at home versus Detroit, that should be a winnable game for either quarterback. I don't see, any reason why we should lose to the Lions, because their defense is horrible, their quarterback play is going to be horrible, their receiving core is going to be horrible because they're a bunch of no-names that I don't even know of. The only thing you could say about the Lions is probably going to be their offensive line, but offensive lines do not matter if receivers can't get open. So I have us winning that one, And then the next one, we go to Las Vegas to play Khalil Mack's former team for the second time, the the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland, but you get the point. So the Raiders did regress in the offseason. They don't have an offensive line. They don't have any receiver talent. Carr, Carr is not the answer. Like, I'm being honest with a bunch of Raiders fans. Carr is not the answer. All right, they need to realize that now because Carr, consistently, has good games and there's consistently times where he has bad games. As I previously said before, as much as Raiders fans don't want to admit it, they're going to have to admit it at some point. Because I think this is Carr's last season, and they're going to look better with Mariota. Just saying. Now, week 6. I believe the Aaron Rodgers situation is real. But if we see a trade of Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be after June 1st. Where it's most likely going to happen. So I believe these stories are true, but as of right now, I have a splitting with the Green Bay Packers. So I could see us winning this one. Might be close, but if the Packers do trade Aaron Rodgers, I could possibly see us sweeping them. All right. The Packers did regress in the offseason. Wait until the third round to get Amari Rodgers, but I think the damage is already done with Aaron Rodgers. So no matter who it is, it's probably going to be Blake Bortles facing us or Jordan Love. So Tampa Bay, that's going to be a loss. All right. I don't think there's going to be very much enough said. The only thing will have to say is the only question is Father Time going to get up to Brady at some point? So I just have that as a loss because the Bucks have a lot of talent on their offense. Even if Brady looks a little bit washed, they do have a very good defense. It might be close with Justin Fields, but I see that as a loss. Alright, now the Week 8 matchup where Justin Fields has a chip on his shoulder, and after he lost to the Bucks, he's going to be pissed off and beat the team that passed up on him. And that is the 49ers that took Trey Lance over Justin Fields. With that being said, this should be a winnable game for the Bears, even if it's Jimmy Garoppolo. Because I know there's a lot of people that said if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, we're going to lose. If it's Trey Lance, we're going to win. Trust me, guys, when you have a pissed off quarterback that wants to prove to the team that they should have taken him over that quarterback, then that means that they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. And the 49ers, I'm sorry, Jimmy G is not the answer. He did have a good season back in 2019. But other than that, Jimmy G's been made of glass, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's hurt or plays bad. So I see this being a little bit of Justin Fields' revenge game. So, yeah. So, at Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers did regress. Their offensive lines, two of their greatest offensive linemen retired. And they pretty much have no offensive line, and their quarterback play is going to be a little bit questionable because Big Ben is getting up there in age. He's aging a bit. Father Time is really killing him. So I could see us winning that game. Might be close, but I could actually see Justin Fields pulling a win off there. So we're on our bye week, and then we head home versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens did regress in the offseason not helping their quarterback Lamar Jackson out, and they traded their right tackle Orlando Brown away. So they kind of don't have an offensive line, and their receiver talent, is not well because they have Sammy Watkins, who is injury prone. They have Marquise Brown, who had a regressing season back last year, and they have Hollywood Brown, which is probably their only good wide receiver. And they did get Rashawn Bateman, but he's a rookie. He's probably not going to start right away. He's only going to start if Sammy Watkins gets injured. So, and the Baltimore Ravens defense, their front seven, they got rid of Yannick Ngakoue. But the question is the Ravens head coach going to be fired? Because his offense last year, it was not the best, despite them making the playoffs and them winning a playoff game. So, I could see the Bears winning this one. It might be a shootout between Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson. Those are two comparable quarterbacks because of their speed and arm strength. So, I could see Justin Fields coming out as the victorious winner. At Detroit, Thanksgiving, that should be winnable as well. It's Jared Goff. No one's scared of that fucking mediocre quarterback and no name receivers. At home versus the Arizona Cardinals against Stuart Little. No need to explain. Yeah, that's a winnable game because the Cardinals are a better team, but the question is poor little Kyler going to make it to there? Because the moment you pop his shoulder, he plays like garbage the entire season because he's too scared to take a hit. Now, receiver talent, they do have DeAndre Hopkins and they do have James Conner in the running game. But the question is this Cliff Kingsborough's last season? Why? Because I have a feeling the reason why they kept him is because he wanted Kyler Murray. So, I think this is probably his last chance to have this air raid offense. But it won't matter because Justin Fields will prove that he is the better quarterback than Kyler Murray is. So, Sunday night at Green Bay, depending if the Aaron Rodgers situation is true, it could be a sweep. But as of right now, Aaron Rodgers is still in Green Bay, and that's why I have a splitting with them, and we're losing to them at Green Bay. So we're traveling we're at home versus the Vikings. We only lost to one of them in the Matt Nagy era, so that should be a winnable game. Their defense is a little bit is a lot garbage because of their corners. Their offense is high powered, but the question is Kirk Cousins really the answer? Because they drafted Kendall Mond in the 3rd round. To bring in a little bit of competition for Cousins. Because Kirk Cousins is getting up there in age. So, but I see this as a winnable game for the Bears because we have done well against the Vikings in the past, in the Matt Nagy era. At Seattle, this could be a winnable game because the defense their defense is horrible, but their offense did get a lot better, addressing their offensive line problem that Russell Wilson did complain about in the offseason. So this should be a shootout that the Seahawks should be able to win this game because both defenses are going to struggle, but one of them will remain victorious. And Russell Wilson being the comeback winner I see this being a loss for this one. At Soldier Field against the New York Giants, against Daniel Jones, and against the newly improved New York Giants. Now the Giants have all the talent in the world. You know, having Kenny Galladay and having that. They drafted a wide receiver. You know, they have Saquon coming back, and they have those. And it's probably Daniel Jones' last chance. You know, see if he could take his next step or prove that they should have taken Josh Allen over Daniel Jones. But as of right now, from what I've seen in Daniel Jones, I like Daniel Jones. I think he's an average quarterback, but I'm not slurping him as Fitz Vegas is. So I see us beating the Giants. Probably going to be a close game, but we will win that game. In our last game at Minnesota, we will probably, lose that one because, week 18 is probably going to be the time where, starters will be rested and all that shit. So that is it for our schedule. As of right now, you are seeing seeing about an 11 and 12 win schedule for the Bears. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people saying, "Are you drunk?" Most of the teams on our schedule, we beat it in the past decade. Like, some of the teams that you see that I put a win over, we own them in the past decade or so. So, you could disagree with this. I really don't give a fuck. Drop your Bears prediction down below. As always, bear down.